When Iran hit 7 countries at once, the day the Middle East changed. This changed everything today. Stop whatever you're doing. Because on Saturday, February 28th, 2026, something happened that has never happened before in modern history. Iran fired missiles at 7 countries simultaneously. Not 1, not 2, 7. UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Israel. And here's the number that should make every single person watching this video sit up straight. 1 person was killed in Abu Dhabi when debris from intercepted Iranian missiles rained down on a city of 1.5 million people. A city that has never seen war. A city built on sand, skyscrapers, and the promise of safety. That promise shattered today. Let's break down the 3 questions that millions of people are searching right now. Because what happened today doesn't just affect the Middle East. It affects your petrol bill, your flights, and the global economy, wherever you live. Let's get into it. Why did Iran attack countries that weren't even at war with it? This is the question breaking the internet right now, and the answer is both calculated and terrifying. Here's the context most coverage is skipping. This all began early this morning when the United States and Israel launched a massive and coordinated strike on Iran, targeting leadership compounds, military infrastructure, and nuclear sites across 6 Iranian cities simultaneously. Trump called it Operation Epic Fury and announced major combat operations in Iran. It is, by every measure, the largest U.S. military operation in the Middle East since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. According to Iran's Red Crescent Society, at least 201 people were killed, and 747 were injured inside Iran by the time this video was made. Iran's response was immediate, and it deliberately went after countries that had nothing to do with the attack. UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, all struck. So why them? One word: bases. Every single country Iran struck today hosts a major U.S. military installation. Qatar, Al Udeid Air Base, the largest U.S. air base in the entire Middle East. UAE, Al Dhafra Air Base, home to U.S. stealth aircraft. Bahrain, headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet, controlling the entire Persian Gulf. Kuwait, Ali Al Salem Air Base, a key U.S. Army staging ground. Iran's message? If you let America launch from your soil becomes our target. The IRGC stated it explicitly. All U.S. assets throughout the region are considered legitimate targets, and the timing was deliberately cruel. This is Ramadan, the holy month when Gulf streets are quieter, families are together, and the world is watching. Iran chose this moment to fire missiles at Arab capitals during the holy month of fasting. In Bahrain, a drone struck a tower block near the U.S. 5th Fleet headquarters, setting it ablaze. In Kuwait, a drone hit Kuwait International Airport, injuring workers, damaging the passenger terminal. In Dubai, 5 large explosions echoed across the city while tourists were at dinner. And here's the cruel geopolitical irony nobody is talking about. The only GCC country Iran did not strike today is Oman. The same Oman that spent years quietly brokering peace between Iran and the West. As recently as yesterday, Oman's foreign minister said peace was within reach after Iran had agreed not to stockpile enriched uranium. 24 hours later, those talks are dead. And missiles are in the sky. How does this hit your wallet? And how bad can it get? Let's talk money, because this is where it stops being news over there and becomes your problem right here. Oil markets were closed when the strikes began on Saturday. But every analyst, from Reuters to Bloomberg to Yahoo Finance, is saying the same thing about Monday morning. According to Yahoo Finance, oil prices could jump $10 to $20 per barrel or more if there is no de-escalation. Brent crude, the global benchmark, was trading at around $71.73 per barrel going into the weekend. Already elevated because traders had been pricing in war risk for weeks. Now that war is here, futures jumped roughly 2.9% in the immediate hours after the strikes, when markets were briefly active. But the deeper crisis isn't the flat price. It's the infrastructure that moves the oil. Before today, war risk insurance premiums for ships transiting the Gulf had already doubled, rising from 0.2, 0.3 to 0.5% of hull value since June 2025, according to Reuters. For a single LNG carrier worth $200 million, that's a structural cost increase embedded into every cargo before it even sails. After today, some underwriters are simply refusing to quote at all. The consequences are already here. Thousands of flights were canceled across the Gulf as airspace in UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain all closed simultaneously. Emirates Airline was forced to suspend flight operations entirely. Major trading houses have suspended crude oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. Tankers have begun steering clear of the region entirely, according to the New York Times. And remember those 31 million expatriates, over half the Gulf's entire population, who staff every refinery, port, hospital, and logistics hub in the region? Indians, Pakistanis, Filipinos, British nationals, Americans. They are calculating right now whether to stay or get out. The moment skilled workers start leaving en masse, energy infrastructure starts degrading. And that is when the real crisis begins. Can Iran actually close the Strait of Hormuz? And what happens if it does? This is the question that is keeping energy executives, defense ministers, and central banks awake tonight. And the answer is complicated, but the stakes could not be higher. Here is the one number you need to understand everything. 20 million barrels of oil per day pass through the Strait of Hormuz. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, that is 20% of all global petroleum consumption. Every single day, all of Qatar's LNG, all of the UAE seaborne crude, most of Kuwait's and Iraq's exports, and 84% of all oil flowing through Hormuz goes to Asian markets, the EIA-owned data. Think about what that means for the countries that power the global economy. India, nearly 50% of its crude imports and 60% of its natural gas move through this strait. China, roughly 50% of its crude transits Hormuz. South Korea, 60% of its crude comes through the same route. Japan, close to 75% of its oil imports rely on this passage. Can Iran physically close it? Yes. The IRK has fast attack boats, anti-ship missiles, naval mines, and semi-submersible vessels built for exactly this kind of asymmetric warfare. Iran conducted live-fire naval exercises in the strait as recently as February 17, 11 days ago. Iran's parliament had already approved a motion to close the strait after June 2025's nuclear strikes. Until today, the question was if. After today, it's when. 3 things to watch. Here's what the next few days will determine. Watch these 3 things. Watch point 1, the Strait of Hormuz. Tankers are already halting near Hormuz. Major trading houses have suspended shipments. If Iranian naval assets make a move, everything changes by Monday morning. Watch point 2, the expatriate exodus. 31 million foreign workers make the Gulf function. If departure accelerates beyond what embassies can manage, the energy infrastructure of the world's most important oil region begins to hollow out from the inside. Quietly, invisibly, devastatingly. Watch point 3. Oman. Oman is the last open diplomatic channel. If Oman steps in as mediator, there is still a path back from the brink. If Oman goes silent, the 35-25% scenarios in Forbes' framework become the baseline. Think about what happened today. Peace talks were alive 24 hours ago. Oman's foreign minister said the word breakthrough yesterday. And then, missiles. This is the first time in modern history that Iranian missiles struck Gulf Arab capitals simultaneously. These are cities that built their entire identity, their entire promise on being safe, modern, cosmopolitan. Places where 31 million people from every corner of the world came to build a life. Today, those people are sheltering in windowless rooms, ordering water in bulk from apps showing delivery delays, watching missile trails cross the sky above their children's schools. If you want to stay ahead of how this conflict evolves and what it means for energy markets, global stability, and the world your business operates in, subscribe, hit the bell, and drop your biggest question in the comments. We read every single one. This story is not over. Not even close.